story I remember reading about how Yasunori Mitsuda gave himself crippling stomach ulcers to compose the soundtrack to Chrono Trigger. While he was at Square, his official job title was composer, and yet he was given sound engineering work with low pay, which really pissed him off. He then gave an ultimatum to the vice president of Square at the time, Hironobu Sakaguchi, to let him compose or he would quit. Sakaguchi assigned him to the Chrono Trigger team as the sole composer, saying, "After you finish it, maybe your salary will go up." In the end, he created 54 tracks for the final release, working constantly until he passed out, only to awake with an inspirational tune from his short nap. One of such songs was the ending theme to the game. In the end, he developed stomach ulcers, and good old Nobuo Uematsu, the composer of the early Final Fantasy games, had to step in and finish up the soundtrack. From there, Mitsuda composed many legendary soundtracks, with his next most notable title coming from the game Xenogears, which allowed gamers to hear his songs in the next generation of consoles. Xenogears borrowed influences from Irish and Celtic music, which can be heard throughout the game, especially in cities and towns. This musical influence bled into his next project, and hyped up gamers, like myself, for the inevitable greatness that was Chrono Cross's soundtrack, mixing elements from the classic Chrono Trigger game to please the longtime fans. While yes, there were many other games Mitsuda had been a part of, those three, plus Legaia 2, were the ones I grew up knowing and loving. It would be unfair of me to place my own opinions of his other work when I haven't really gotten too deep into them, so I'll keep to these 4 games with my thoughts on the music. I'm a sucker for Celtic and Irish influenced music, so his direction with his music was a real winner for me, making Chrono Cross especially memorable for me, and it was from there that I could pick out some connections in his music style, especially when it came to overworld map themes for whatever reason. Xenogears, Chrono Cross, and Legaia 2 had bits and pieces of their overworld music that connected them, creating a pleasing sense of familiarity when I played these games. While I knew he composed the music for Xenogears and Chrono Cross before getting into the game, I had no idea Mitsuda had touched Legaia 2 until I heard the overworld theme. There's an airy quality about them with that sweet string plucking nestled in there. As I mentioned before, Mitsuda's Celtic influence comes in full blast when it's in cities and towns within games, with Xenogears and Chrono Cross getting the full treatment. They're fun to bob your head to as you're searching through the towns for the next plot segment. While writing this, I've realized that Mitsuda's style of music is a nostalgic run for me. The game music is connected to one another, and it draws from that great game Chrono Trigger that started it all. There are other composers that I prefer, but Mitsuda has mastered the art of getting gamers to really remember his tunes that he's so well known for and keeping them available in newer releases. It's not to say that his style hasn't changed, it really has. It's kept that feel-good quality to them, which I appreciate. As per usual, I'll end the video with my two personal favorites, starting with Chrono Cross's song Drowning Valley. And I'll end the video with my all-time favorite overworld theme, Wind Scene from Chrono Trigger. Thank you.